face. Only truth will stand forever in this space. Justice for the wrong they have done until the truth is fully won. I don't need rage to carry power. I don't need chaos to be strong. Truth is steady when it matters. Truth stands on. Every step I take is measured. Every action held in line. Nothing built on false foundations lasts in time. I stand within the law and order. I stand where truth is drawn. And I will not be moved or shaken. I carry on. Justice for the wrong they have done. Justice rising like the sun. I will stand in every lawful way for my son Ray. No distortion will defy him. No false words take his name. Only truth will stand remaining. Always the same. Justice for the wrong they have done until the truth is fully won. This is truth, not reaction. This is love made strong and clear. This is everything I know of him held here. I will not allow his memory to be shaped by distant sound. I will stand until the truth is fully found. Justice for the wrong they have done. Justice rising like the sun. I will stand in every lawful way. So my thunder, every step is forward motion. Every word is calm and true, and nothing built on falsehood will get through. Justice for the wrong they have done until the truth is fully won. With love, with truth, with strength, I'll stand. I'm 1,000 pieces, still standing tall. A voice in the chaos, I've lived it all. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, a friend in the night, holding a broken, still holding the light. Shells in my pocket, dreams in my hands, building something they don't understand. The crafter of hope from shattered days, finding my strength in a million ways. They don't see the tears fall down in the shower. They don't know the pain behind the power. They only see me when I'm shining bright, not the battles I fight every night. But still I rise through the fire they made, through the hate, through the words they threw in my face. I'm still here, I'm still strong. This is where I belong. Mommy ramblings in my name. I built this boy full of pain. Every rather that stayed by my side. You're the reason I survive. Still I rise, still I stand, with a broken heart and steady hand. They try to tear me down piece by piece, like I don't deserve a moment of peace. Was it just cause I didn't fit them mold? So they threw their stones and turned so cold. There are things I'll never say out loud, the kind of pain I don't need a crowd. But I carry it deep where the silence lives, and still find a way to give and give. And I smile when I go live like I'm okay, but they don't see the price I'll pay. We missing you with every breath I take. My sweet boy, my heart still breaks. But still I rose for the fire they made, through the hate.
them on, and I'll build something beautiful from all this pain.
Hello. Hold on a second. Let me shut this. Okay. Oh boy, what a day. So, this is my third iced coffee. Boys and I went out today. We were out all day. Didn't get back till just a little bit ago. And Ethan bought his first guitar. Yay! I took a picture of him in the guitar store because I'm like, this is just the beginning. But I'm happy for him. He got a really nice guitar. And he has, well, it's his second guitar. But his first one was the electric, the Les Paul, that a Rambler on the first celebration so lovingly gave to me, which is just amazing. You would know Rebecca. And at that time, Ethan wasn't playing, but then Ethan started playing, and so he had the Les Paul up for electric, and but he got an acoustic today, which is also can be plugged in though, which is the Epiphone, the Hummingbird, so Gibson Hummingbird, and it's a gorgeous guitar, and he got a guitar strap that has suns on it. Why suns? Why not? Right? The sun is Ray. Ray is light. Ray is always with us. And FAFO. Mofos. Okay, that's what I'll say. Yep. And don't worry, everything I do, it's totally legal. So, let me go and see who's here. Denise. Hi, Ari. How are you? How's it going? Hi, Matt. Let's see. What is up with this thing? Hold on a minute. I think it's like glitching. It's glitching. What's that doing? Let me see. I'm going to try to type something in here. Hello. There it goes. Maybe now. Let me see if I can. I can't. Oh, now I can. Okay. Matt says, uh-oh, those ransom note guys are going to be upset who came here. Oh, no, not really, because let me tell you, it's not those ransom notes. It's Derrick Callella, out in California. Remember, he's the guy that he got Tommaso and Annie's information and he started texting things. He's the guy that had his hearing today, and we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about, oh my gosh, this horrific case. 17-year-old girl kills her mother, who's was in a wheelchair bound, with a hammer, because her mother took her phone away. And you know what? I saw the most ridiculous headline tonight, a little bit ago. I don't know which case it was, but it said something like, wife who was killed with a hammer, cause of death revealed to be head trauma. Yeah, you think? Okay, so, and what else did I want to discuss? Oh yes, I have put in a FOIA for, among other things, Taylor Parker, some more stuff on that, and I've been getting stuff, and let me see if I have some more stuff, because I know I have another part of her interview when she was in the police station. Let me see what else might have come through while Mama Bear was out. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay, I did get that. Okay. Ooh, what's this? Oh. All right, we'll probably do that tomorrow then, because I have to go through all this stuff. All right, I just wanted, that's good news that I see that. Oh, Margaret. What is this about? Oh, let me tell you. Margaret? Margaret, are you in the chat? I've got to show you this. If she tells me I can show you this. Margaret, are you in the chat? She just emailed me. Because I've been meaning to show you this. You cannot believe what Margaret painted. And the other night when we were talking, I don't know how we were talking about Tuscany and stuff. I didn't realize she sent me an email, but I want to make sure she says I can show you guys. Let me see if she's in the chat. Margaret, are you here? Margaret. I hope she's here. I don't want to show it if she says, you know, because it's... Let me see. I think my thing is like wacko. I'm gonna tell her. Let me email her back here. Margaret. I don't want to get. I'm just gonna reply on this one. Let me see. I am live now. Are you around? I want to show your masterpiece, which it is, if you will allow me. Please come in the chat, my dear. Okay. All right, and where has my chat gone? I can't find my thing. Okay, here we are. Hi, bee lady. How are you? How are you? I'm just waiting, guys. You can't believe this, bee lady. You know Margaret from our chat? The other night, I didn't realize, but she sent me a email that had this beautiful painting that she painted, and you're going to be listening until you fall asleep. Yeah, it does, but I just want to know if Margaret, because she just emailed me. So I just sent her back an email that said, come into the chat. Carolyn, did you hear about Corey? Well, I was out all day today, so probably not. What happened with Corey? What happened? My best friend forever? Oh boy, I don't think so, but okay. Corey Richens, what happened? Is it real or is it's not conspiracy channel crap, is it? Let me see. Corey Richens, la 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 la. Hey, yeah, you guys heard that other guy that she's seeking a new trial. Oh dear. But see, they always do. This is par for course. They don't usually get a new trial, but maybe an appeal is always after they're convicted. They're always come through, right, with the appeal. That's par for course. But just like Charlie Adelson, Doesn't mean you're going to get it, and most times you don't get it. And Murdaugh and Letitia are very different cases. There really was an error made in Letitia's case. The judge really erred, and he should not have, and it's his fault. It really is. And in Murdaugh's case, you have that clerk, Becky Hill. Okay? But what's Corey is going to say, okay? Well, let's see. Let's see if we can get her. Yes, thank you. I will go over that. I didn't see that, like I just said. I got home a little bit ago, and I've been out with the boys. Okay, let's see. They said it was a murder trial, and they had too much testimony about her financial stuff that swayed it. Yeah, that's not going to get it. Yeah, well, that's what an appeal is, B-Lady. An appeal is trying to get a new trial. When you do the appeal is all about what errors happened that the trial wasn't fair to you, and you need a new trial. So that's what an appeal is. And that's what it's all about, is putting in what judicial errors happened that caused you to not have a fair trial. So that's their errors. No, it's an appeal. I'll show you. Stand by. I'll show you. She wants a new trial. They all want a new trial. That's why they filed the appeal. They have to prove that there were judicial errors. That's how they get the new trial. Now, I guess Margaret, well, if Margaret comes, I'll try to keep a little bit on top of the chatty chats. But let me talk about Derrick Callella, and I will talk about Corey. Okay, I will talk about Corey. All right, let me go over here. Derrick Callella. So Derrick Callella pled guilty to writing the imposter ransom notes in Nancy Guthrie's disappearance and kidnapping. He pled guilty Thursday, July 2nd, which still for me is today because I didn't go to bed. Derrick Callella faced charges of transmitting a demand for ransom in interstate commerce and utilizing a telecommunications device with intent to abuse, threaten, or harass a person. He pled guilty to harassment using that telecommunication device, and if convicted on that charge, he could face a maximum of 2 years in prison, a fine, or both, and up to 1 year of supervised release. He could receive up to probation for 10 years when he is sentenced on September 10th. He is also set to report to a residential addiction treatment facility on Thursday. The FBI said Callella of Hawthorne, California, texted 2 of Nancy Guthrie's family members on February 4th. He also allegedly made a 9-second call to a family member. Callella texted Nancy Guthrie's oldest daughter, Annie, and son-in-law, Tommaso Cione. According to court records, he used an internet phone line to send the following message. Did you get the Bitcoin? We're waiting on our end for the transaction. And investigators said the messages were sent moments after the Guthrie family released the first video message to the alleged kidnappers asking for proof of life. Local criminal defense attorney Louis Fidel, who's not involved in Callalla's case, said the outcome did not come as a surprise. Despite Callella not receiving jail time, Fidel said He hopes the plea deal discourages others from similar conduct. You certainly hope that people see that and understand that to do something like that is a crime. It does hurt people. It's not something that people should do. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos issued a similar warning, saying individuals who send fraudulent notes will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. The FBI takes these notes extremely seriously. They track them down, and if they find them to be fraudulent, they don't just put it aside. They will arrest you. They have made arrests. I think they've made 2 or 3 arrests already. Callella's hearing came less than 24 hours after the FBI issued a statement saying it received several ransom notes over the course of the investigation. Some, including Callella's, have been ruled illegitimate, while some remain under investigation. They could be legitimate. Nano said imposter notes impede the investigation and exploit the Guthrie family, urging anyone considering sending one to reconsider. Even if they're playing a game, I don't know what mind that is. That says, this is what I want to do. Don't do it. Nano said that. Okay. So that's chapter is on that. And now let's talk about this mom killed by her 17-year-old daughter, okay? Craziness. Let me move her over here. There we go. So, Georgina Lee Monk, the woman you see there, was found brutally beaten in her home last week. And a Minnesota teenager is facing murder charges in connection with the death of that woman, who happens to be her mother. Georgina Lee Monk was found dead in Maplewood, Minnesota, in her house on Friday, June 26th. They found her after a welfare check. The teenager, who has not been named, was soon identified as the suspect, and she was taken into custody shortly afterwards. The investigation began when the teenager walked into her daytime treatment center and allegedly asked to conduct a wellness check on her mother because she felt regret. Officers responding to the home found the woman's body. She had been severely beaten. A neighbor allegedly told police that Georgina had recently taken away the teenager's phone. According to charging documents and the criminal complaint, the teen also allegedly asked, "Am I a criminal because I only killed one person?" Oh my gosh. People who knew Georgina and her daughter allegedly reported that the two often had conflicts. The teenager allegedly told investigators, "It wasn't just rage. I just couldn't handle it no more. I couldn't wait another year of all the criticisms and all the manipulations, the mental and emotional abuse. I just couldn't. It was too much." She's been charged with second-degree murder. It wasn't clear if she entered a plea or if she has an attorney representing her. Wow. Crazy, right? Crazy. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I want to do this before I go to Corey Richens. Okay, let's go. Let me go. Corey Richens. Okay, so Corey Richens, has filed a motion in the Summit County's 3rd District Court. She is citing that the conviction should be vacated and a new trial granted for the following reasons. The court's clear demonstration of bias in favor of the state displayed before the jury deprived Miss Richens of a fair trial. The state's repeated reliance on other crimes, wrongs, or bad acts, and the admission of evidence proving Miss Richens committed wide-ranging financial crimes over numerous years in several general categories went far beyond the court's pretrial rulings, and it violated court rules and resulted in substantial undue prejudice, denying Ms. Richens a fair trial, and cumulative error, defense attorneys wrote in their motion. So this is the same thing, B-Lady. She can make a motion saying that this happened the same way. You know what I mean? That she could say whatever the freak she wants, and that let me get her picture up there, and that she wants a new trial for this reasons. Doesn't mean she's going to get one, and I'm going to tell you she's not going to get one on that, because you can bring in prior bad acts, and in her case, because these acts happened alongside what she was doing, and it wasn't just that they took like things that she did years before. The things she was doing were happening right alongside the murder. And you know what else? I don't know why they haven't mentioned it. Is that do you remember when the boyfriend, we brought up his text messages in court, and he said something about her telling him either to eat something and he said that it knocked him completely out for so many hours. I think she was trying something on that boyfriend. And I just don't even know how it's just been missed. But she's not going to get, believe me, this is a motion citing errors of the judge. Much the way, but because of the time, they're just calling it this motion. But this is essentially the same thing. She's citing court errors. They didn't do something right. She didn't get a fair trial, so she needs a new trial. I guarantee you a quart of honey that they're going to come back with a decision that they affirm everything and no new trial for you. Okay, I can just, I'll bet that quart of honey. But you don't even have to pay me a quart of honey when I win, because you're not really betting with me. But I'm just saying, it's just, let's see, what she's, Mazurek, right? Judge Mazurek. Her request comes after she was sentenced in May to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Ms. Richens' convictions should be vacated and a new trial granted. Right, because the court's clear demonstration of bias in favor of the state displayed before the jury deprived Ms. Richens of a fair trial. The state's repeated reliance on other crimes, wrong or bad acts, and the admission of evidence proving Ms. Richens committed wide-ranging financial crimes over numerous years in several general categories went far beyond. Right, yeah, it's far beyond. Okay. She was convicted in March. See, because she's past the time, usually their appeal has to be within 30 days. And so I think that's why they put it in a new motion. Okay, and so this is their new motion. In the new motion, Richens' attorneys contend that they were repeatedly interrupted throughout the trial and that the judge corrected counsels in ways that made it appear her attorneys were mishandling witnesses. The misconduct created an appearance of bias against Ms. Richens and in favor of the prosecutions, depriving Ms. Richens of a fair trial. The court was often impatient, critical, and hostile towards the defense, and only the defense. No. Yes, I mean, he did call them out. But I don't think it was biased. And you have to remember, if that was ever approved, right, then that's a smudge on the judge. So I don't think that's going to happen because he seems... I'm just telling you, there's that quote of honey. Her attorneys further contend that the prosecutor is being allowed to submit Richens' alleged financial misdeeds. Now, okay, over a period of several years, including testimony regarding alleged bounced checks, false bank statements, misleading communications with lenders, mismanagement of business affairs, sloppy accounting, and improper tax accounting violated the court's pretrial rulings. The defense claims her case is similar to that of Alex Murdaugh. Get out of here. But see, Alex Murdaugh is not appealing based on his financial matters. Becky Hill is the reason his appeal went through. They don't understand. They do not understand. They don't understand. Oh my gosh, these people don't understand. And the reason Alex Murdaugh, they're not going to talk about financial crimes because he's already convicted on the financial crimes. Oh my goodness, this is so poor. Okay. The defense claims her case is similar to that of Alex Murdaugh. The prominent? Oh my goodness. South Carolina attorney who was convicted of murdering his wife and adult son. He was more than convicted of his wife and the murders of his wife and his son. Oh, and thank you. I have to give a big thank you to Planet Damnation. Thank you for gifting that very generous thing to the Buy Me a Coffee. And Planet Damnation said, for your gas to get to the Murdaugh trial. Thank you so much, Planet Damnation. Thank you. That is so appreciated. Thank you. Okay. Let me go back here now. So, Murdaugh's convictions were tossed out, however, due in part to the trial judge allowing prosecutors to introduce vast amounts of evidence. No. They've got this all wrong. No. Like the Murdaugh case, they went on to say, Miss Richens was denied a fair trial to the undue prejudice of financial wrongdoings permeating the trial. The only appropriate remedy is a new trial. Oh, come on. Richens' attorneys are now calling on a new evidentiary hearing to present evidence and argument in support of Richens' request for a motion for a new trial. Wednesday afternoon, 3rd District Judge Richard Mazarek, who presided over her trial, recused himself from the case out of an abundance of caution. Oh my goodness. He wrote in his filings, given the apparent objective bias discussed, the actual conflict of interest created by allegations of the court's bias, and the need to ensure due process, disqualification from ruling on this motion is warranted. He wants no part of this. The court shall take no further action in this case until the motion is decided. Okay. Now, let's go to something over here. Oh my goodness, this is so crazy. Okay, can I remind everybody that Alex Murdaugh is getting a new trial because the court ruled that the former Colleton County Clerk of Court, Becky Hill, improperly influenced the jury. She made inappropriate comments to jurors, telling them to watch him closely and not to be fooled by the defense when Murdaugh testified in his own defense. The High Court stated that this misconduct placed her fingers on the scales of justice, thereby violating Murdaugh's constitutional right to a fair trial by an impartial jury. So, what are Corey's lawyers freaking lying? Because any judge is going to call them out on it. It's going to call out their BS and say, no, Alex Murdaugh is not getting a new trial because of his financial crimes. He's getting a new trial because of the interference by Becky Hill. Sit down, Corey Richens. But she's not going to get a new trial. She's got all this, no, she probably, Letitia Stout got a new trial, and we're on a roll. Third time's going to be the charm. Yeah, no, I don't think so, Corey. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't. This is to me. You could mark it down. I'm saying it's going to not go through. It's not going through. You want me to go through the sheets? Hi, Colleen. Well, jurors, okay, we've all seen some cases where jurors can be a crapshoot. They can be. But anyway, we could talk about this, okay? But Murdaugh's not getting a new trial because of the financial crimes. Hi, Gemma. Money was the reason of the murders. Well, the same could be said in Corey's case. She was so freaking in the hole. Do you guys remember? Do you remember what she had to make and pay out each month to stay afloat? And that she was literally drowning in debt? I mean, not just tens of thousands. She was drowning in debt. It was scary. And then she just kept trying to do all these things. And then she took that friend and sold her house, right? But then took this money that was supposed to go on her mortgage and misappropriated those funds. Oh my gosh, Corey had so much freaking stuff going on. It's outrageous. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. The judge disqualified himself after they filed the petition. Yeah, I don't think he wants any part of it, really. I think he's had enough of that circus. Okay, I think he has had enough of that circus. Debbie Dahl says, I wonder what, if any, the defense or state will do differently. Which trial are you talking about, Debbie? Are you talking about Murdaugh or Corey? Brian has been a wonderful friend. What is it? Who is he? Comparing to Alex, but they're citing. Yeah, but Alex didn't get a new trial for that. Yeah, that judge is that. I'm out of here. All right, let's see what we can dig up over here, okay? Let's see. Okay. All right. Okay, so let me see here. This is, make sure this is the right one. Okay, here we go. Statement of facts, and I just like to do this just for anybody that's been not around, okay? Ms. Richards was originally charged with 1 count of criminal homicide, aggravated murder in violation of the Utah Code, and 3 counts of possession of a controlled substance in violation of Utah Code. Prior to the preliminary hearing, August 27th and 28th of 2024, the information was amended 2 times between the preliminary hearing and the trial in this matter. The information was amended an additional 2 times. A 3-week trial was held, commencing on February 23rd, 2026, and concluding on March 16th, 2026. At trial, Ms. Richards was found guilty on 1 count of criminal homicide, aggravated murder, 1 count of attempted criminal homicide, aggravated murder pursuant to Utah Code, 2 counts of insurance fraud pursuant to Utah Code, and 1 count of forgery pursuant to Utah Code. I'm not giving you all the numbers because we're just going through this, right? It doesn't really matter at this point what numbers they are. Pursuant to Rule 24, the court may grant a new trial in the interest of justice if there is any error or impropriety which had a substantial adverse effect upon the rights of a party. A new trial is not necessary, however, when an error is sufficiently inconsequential that Utah courts conclude there is no reasonable likelihood that the error affected the outcome of the proceedings. In other words, a new trial is not merited when an error is harmless. A motion for a new trial is generally permitted for correcting errors made in the trial court or for reviewing a conviction obtained by unfair or unlawful methods. Ms. Richards' convictions should be vacated and a new trial granted for the following reasons. 1. The court's clear demonstration of bias in favor of the state displayed before the jury deprived Ms. Richards of fair trial. 2. The state's repeated reliance on other crimes, wrongs, or bad acts in the admission of evidence proving Ms. Richards committed wide-ranging financial crimes over numerous years in several general categories went far beyond the court's pretrial rulings and violated Rules 401, 402, 403, and 404B, and resulted in substantial undue prejudice, denying Ms. Richards a fair trial. And 3, cumulative error. Now here's the argument, guys. 1, the court's repeated assistance to the prosecution and the disparate treatment of the defense counsel before the jury denied Ms. Richards her right to a fair trial. Throughout the trial, the court repeatedly interrupted defense counsel, corrected counsel in ways that suggested to the jury that counsel was mishandling witnesses. Well, I remember they corrected excuse me, I forget her name, and not the one that talked like a little Jodie Foster, the other attorney, I forget, what was her name? I'm drawing a blank on it now. But the one, she's representing Charlie Kirk right now. She was using some phrase of speech that the judge kept correcting her on. And he was right to correct her on what he did. And she kept saying, oh, I'm going to probably keep saying that wrong or whatever. So that's, sorry. He was like very by the book. Sorry, you misspoke something and he's going to correct you. So he did do that to her a few times that I saw, and there were other times, but I don't think it was biased. Okay. So let's see. and curtailed the defense's objections. On at least one occasion, the court did so in a manner that made it clear to the jury that it was offended by defense counsel. The misconduct created an appearance of bias against Ms. Richins and in favor of the prosecution, depriving Ms. Richins of a fair trial. See, I don't think that's gonna float, because judges sometimes too become exasperated with prosecution or defense. What was the last trial that they just had, and the judge went off on the prosecution for coming back 1 minute late? I think it was the last trial we just covered. So, yeah, and then there's some that are more lenient and some are real sticklers, but we've all seen trials where the judges have lost patience with one side or the other. We've all seen it, that you don't get a new trial. You know what I mean? It doesn't happen. Okay. So, let's see. On at least one occasion, the court did so in a manner that made clear to the jury that it was offended by defense counsel. The misconduct created an appearance of bias against Ms. Richins and in favor of the prosecution, depriving Ms. Richins of a fair trial. Pursuant to the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution in Article 112 of the Utah Constitution, a defendant has the right to an impartial judge, and the presence of a judge who is not impartial constitutes a structural defect in the trial mechanism that violates the United States Constitution and requires reversal. Okay, in this, that's okay. Let's see here. We're going to go into over here. We'll go over here. In this matter, the court engaged in repeated conduct that denigrated the defense counsel, both in and out of the presence of the jury. The court was often impatient, critical, and hostile towards the defense, and only the defense. The court frequently interrupted defense counsel, telling them to pause or focus. Now, but see, that's because they're doing something that he doesn't like. He's not just saying that. They're going all over the place with their questioning. Yes, that was outside of the scope and all kinds of stuff. And they were doing stuff like that. They had a lot of attorneys there, and some of their stuff, yes, we all saw this. Listen, I also know that sometimes the judges are like will give the one side that they know, like if they're judging the case like in a bench trial or something, sometimes they are, you can look at this, there's forums, there's lawyers forums where they talk about this. Sometimes the judge in those trials will give the party, whether it's the prosecution or the defense, a harder time and be super nice to what's going to be the losing party. And some of these attorneys have said, oh gosh, when the judge is too nice to me, I'm like, oh, we lost that case. Because it's like the opposite. It's like they know they're going to deal a blow to that side. So like they're like overly nice because they know, okay, you didn't bring the evidence, you didn't bring this, so you guys are going down, but I'll be real nice to you and make you think maybe. But yeah, the lawyers know. Yeah, you can check it out for yourself on there's law forums. You can check it out for yourself. Don't take my word for it. In the matter, let's see. So he told them to pause or focus. Never was the state told to focus because maybe they didn't need to focus. Maybe they were prepared. Maybe you weren't. During day 4 of the trial, the court interrupted defense counsel on 24 separate occasions while only interrupting the state 13 times. This normally may not show bias, but the interruptions of defense were curt, cutting off statements and arguments, while interruptions of the prosecution were followed by apologies. Mommy, come on, he was mean to me. He didn't he treated them Mom, this is so immature. Oh my goodness. Prosecution were followed by apologies. They were often to help with logistical issues or to aid them with objections. The pattern followed throughout the trial. On day one alone, the court interrupted the defense 36 times, as opposed to interrupting the prosecution 20 times. Not that we're keeping score or anything, Judge. Oh my gosh. Interruptions of the prosecution. But she mentioned this. Don't you remember? She said, I looked on social media and people were saying this, that, or the other thing. Remember, she complained about something. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. As opposed to interrupting the prosecution 20 times, interruptions of the prosecution were generally clarifying, accommodating, or logistical. For example, on trial day 1, page 40, in 17, the court interrupts the state to help clarify their argument and to redirect the state's argument into the court's framing. At page 101, in 11 to 24, the court interrupts the state, but only to confirm a fact, helpful to resolve an issue. At page 312, in 21 to 25, the court interrupts the state to inform them that their information is helpful. To the contrary, when interrupting the defense, the court uses language such as, that doesn't track. Page 122 in 14, move on. Oh my gosh, you have to move on. He has to tell you to move on when you're not allowed to engage in either that type of questioning. Come on, or you've gone over something, asked and answered. Move on. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Okay, listen to this one. Page 122 and 21. You're jumping the gun. Oh, that's so terrible. That's so terrible. Page 189 and 9. And I think it's premature. Oh boy. Page 189 and 23. This is only day 1 of the trial. A full review of the trial transcript demonstrates that this disparate treatment of the defense was persistent, prejudicial, and well outside the bounds of neutral courtroom management and administration. In addition to speaking in a disparaging and condescending nature to the defense, the court would also reframe arguments in a way to help the prosecution. One strong example of this took place on day 10 of the trial when the defense was attempting to elicit testimony. We should go back and watch the trial on these things, right? I wish they'd put the timestamp of the trial and we could easily get to it and just see it. One strong example of this took place on day 10 when the defense was attempting to elicit testimony of the victim's prior use of pain pills. Not only did the court interrupt the defense, but it also continuously rephrased the argument, insisting that the defense use the term illicit street drugs, defining such drugs in a way that does not include prescription pain pills. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Illicit street drugs is different than prescription pain pills, so why wouldn't he want you to use the right term? Day 10, page 68, day 10, page 74, day 10, page 93, and day 10, page 95. During the argument, the court did more than frame the issue in terms favorable to the state. It affirmatively accused Ms. Nestor of knowing and misusing the court's chosen definition. That's Ms. Nestor, that's her name. A definition unsupported by any expert testimony or evidentiary basis, and instead supplied by the court itself. Other examples of the court speaking down to defense counsel are noted at attachment A, day 9, page 20, where the court accuses Ms. Lewis of intentionally ignoring what the court is saying and informing the defense as an answer to the objection that they can call their own witnesses in their case, thereby burden shifting. At attachment A, day 11, 49 minutes. Oh, good, there we have 49 minutes. The court didn't simply rule on Ms. Nestor's objection to relevance, but commented on the objection in an extremely disparaging and condescending nature, saying, "You don't see the relevance?" At day 11, 57 minutes, the court was extremely condescending towards Ms. Nestor's request for a continuing objection. And at day 14, page 14, the court shot down an objection by Ms. Lewis during closing, interrupting her in the process and strongly saying, "Please be seated." Oh boy. This was particularly prejudicial to the defendant, as it was in front of the jury, indicating that the court was angry with the defense and making it clear that objections during closing would not be tolerated. The state then went on to make several objectionable statements during closing, leaving the defense with no remedy in front of the jury. A full review of the trial transcript clearly shows that the court was demeaning and condescending to defense counsel, and in contrast was friendly to the prosecution, often helping them with both their objections and the framing of arguments. Much of this conduct took place in front of the jury. And as in Beck, I didn't go through the whole case, stated a trial judge's position before a jury is overpowering. Trial judges sit high above everyone else in the courtroom. They preside and they decide. They welcome and protect the jurors. They accommodate their schedules and make sure that they have everything they need. The influence of the trial judge on the jury is necessarily and properly of great weight. And his lightest word or intimation is received with deference and may prove controlling. The trial judge often banters and jokes with the jury, and this case was no different. The jury looked up to the trial judge. They laughed at his jokes, and they engaged favorably with him throughout the trial. A full review of the record makes it clear that the court let it be known to the jury that it favored counsel for the state and their positions. When the prosecution raised concerns, the court often accepted, clarified, or helped frame them. When the defense raised concerns, the court more often responded with interruption, correction, skepticism, or curt commands to move on. In addition to the court's treatment of counsel, a full review of the trial transcript shows multiple instances where the court suggested that the defense's objections could be resolved by the defense calling their own witnesses, thereby shifting the burden by instructing them to put on a defense. The rule with respect to the scope of cross-examination continues to be that it is limited to the subject matter of the examination in chief, or in more modern parlance, to the limited scope of the direct examination. While enforcement of this rule generally is within the trial court's discretion, in a close case, the rule must not be so strictly applied as to deprive the defense of an opportunity to present to the jury a vital element of the defense. I'm going to make this a little bit, okay. Here, government inducement, an element of the entrapment defense on which the accused has the burden of proof. Okay. In particular, heated debate with defense counsel regarding an argument over the state's request to put an additional statement by Carmen Lauber after she had already taken the stand. The court told defense that they should recall Ms. Lauber in their case if they wanted to question her on those statements. And the state did not put that the state did not put in during her testimony. See attachment, day 11, 1 hour, 34 minutes, 35 seconds. At times, the court went too far as to tell the defense to put the defendant on the stand rather than allowing certain lines of questioning. See trial transcript, day 7, page 240, 10, and page 265. Okay. In addition to disparaging defense counsel, the court repeatedly aided the prosecution by supplying objections the state had not made, and on at least one occasion objected on the state's behalf and then sustained its own objection. Day 1, page 117, day 1, page 220, day 6, page 61, day 9, page 165, day 13, page 117, day 13, page 38. Although a trial judge may control the courtroom and rule on objections, the court may not abandon the role of neutral arbiter and assume the role of an advocate for one side. The Supreme Court has long cautioned that the judge's influence over a jury is uniquely powerful, and that even slight judicial intimations may affect the jury's view of the parties and the evidence. Utah courts recognize the same principle. A judge must maintain both actual neutrality and the appearance of neutrality, particularly in a jury trial, because judicial comments or conduct suggesting favoritism can undermine public confidence and deprive the accused of a fair trial. When the court supplied objections for the prosecution and then sustained those objections, the court did more than manage the proceedings. It communicated to the jury that the state's position had the court's approval and the defense questioning warranted judicial intervention, even when the prosecution itself did not object. The appearance of alignment with the prosecution is precisely the type of conduct that can interfere with the fairness of a trial. The appearance of alignment with the prosecution, okay, we just went through that. Overall, based on the court's conduct, it often appeared that the defendant was not facing a single adversary, but rather she had to bear the consequence of a judge who at times acted as a second adversary and who appeared to disbelieve either defense counsel or defense witness. As a result of the court's repeated prejudicial conduct towards the defense in this case, the defendant did not receive a fair trial by a neutral arbiter of justice. Because Ms. Richens is asserting herein a claim of bias on the part of the judge, the court should reassign the consideration of this motion to another judge in compliance with the Utah Code of Judicial Conduct. A judge shall disqualify himself or herself in any proceeding in which the judge's impartiality might reasonably be questioned, including but not limited to the following circumstances. The judge has a personal bias or prejudice concerning a party or a party's lawyer. The Utah Code of Judicial Conduct defines impartiality as the absence of bias or prejudice in favor of or against particular parties, as well as the presence of an objective and open mind in considering matters that come before a judge. Even the most scrupulous efforts to keep an objective and open mind are near impossible when a judge is being asked to consider whether his own behavior was prejudicial during trials. That's why he recused himself, okay? Because he has to judge himself. Well, how can you judge yourself, of being impartial? If they're saying you're impartial, you really do need an objective person, judge, to look at this, right? So, yeah, of course, he's going to recuse himself. Given the apparent objective bias discussed, the actual conflict of interest created by the allegations of the court's bias, and the need to ensure due process, disqualification from ruling on this motion is warranted. 2. The state's repeated reliance on other crimes, wrongs, or bad acts in the admission of evidence proving Ms. Richins committed wide-ranging financial crimes over numerous years in several general categories, went far beyond the court's pretrial rulings, violated Rules 401, 402, 403, and 404B, and resulted in a substantial undue prejudice, denying Ms. Richins a fair trial. Prior to trial, the defense filed motions in limine seeking to exclude from trial evidence of over 30 other crimes, wrongs, or bad acts connected to Ms. Richins' business and her financial dealings over a period of several years. On January 7, 2026, the court held a hearing to determine to what extent all of Ms. Richins' alleged financial misdeeds spanning years before Eric Richins' death could be admitted at trial. The court gave the state some general guardrails, attempting to avoid 404B issues at trial. See Attachment B, partial hearing transcript. In trial, the state went far beyond the court's pretrial rulings and introduced the testimony of Chelsea Barney and Brooke Carrington, going into great detail about the numerous financial misdeeds. See Attachment C and D. Ms. Carrington spoke an entire day on the stand, testifying about bounced checks, false bank statements, misleading communications with lenders, mismanagement of business affairs, sloppy accounting, improper tax accounting, and on and on. And Ms. Barney testified about how she lost her life savings and her home when Ms. Richins mishandled a real estate transaction for her and allegedly lied about it. The defense objected to all of the state's attempts to inject allegations of financial and business fraud and or dishonesty into the trial, despite the court's pretrial rulings, and each and every objection was overruled by the court. See Attachments C and D. The very beginning of the state's closing argument specifically referred to Ms. Richins taking out a HELOC without her husband, knowing about it years before he died. See Attachment E. 7 pages of the state's closing argument focused on the testimony of Carrington and Barney. Ms. Richins' case is similar to the case of State of South Carolina Richard Alexander Murdaugh. No, it's not. No, it's not. Oh, gosh. Oh, boy. Okay, this is gonna, let's see. Like the Murdaugh case, Ms. Richins was denied a fair trial due to the undue prejudice of financial wrongdoings permeating the trial. The only appropriate remedy is a new trial. Do they really think who is ever doing this is going to be stupid and believe them that that's why Murdaugh got a new trial? I guess so, right? Alternatively, this court should grant Ms. Richins a new trial under the cumulative error doctrine. Under the cumulative error doctrine, a conviction should be reversed when 2 or more errors occurred. Each error, standing alone, had a conceivable potential for harm, and 3, the cumulative effect of those errors undermines the court's confidence that a fair trial was had. A court's confidence is more likely to be shaken when the errors work together in a pernicious manner so as to cause more prejudice than the mere sum of the individual errors. Cumulative error refers to a number of errors which prejudice a defendant's right to a fair trial. The cumulative error doctrine applies when a single error may not constitute grounds for reversal, but many errors, when taken collectively, do. Cumulative error requires reversal if the cumulative effect of the several errors undermines this court's confidence that a fair trial was had. Importantly, the doctrine applies only to errors that's substantial enough to accumulate. It does not apply to errors found to be so minor as to result in no harm. When considering reversal under the cumulative error doctrine, not only must a court make a determination that an error exists, it must also make a separate determination that the error could conceivably cause some harm before it adds the error effect to the cumulative error scale. Okay. Conclusion. The court should recuse from consideration of this motion, and an evidentiary hearing should be scheduled before the judge assigned to the motion to present evidence and argument in support of Richard's request for a new trial. Okay. This is not going to go very far. Okay, I almost think, who is paying these people? Because it sounds like they're just humoring her with this, because hold on, I'm just 1 second, I have to. Okay. Sorry, I just had to open the door. Okay. So who is humoring her with this? I think that they are. I really do. I think they're like, okay, you want us to do some work? Okay. Yeah, we'll put this together for you. So, that's what I think. I think it's much ado about nothing. Let's see here. Hi, Planet. Charlie's argument was stronger. Yeah. Yeah, but and he lost out, right? So she's not going to get anything, believe me. This is not going to fly, okay? This is not going to fly. Because it would really be if someone, said that against Mazurek, and he's got I think a really good reputation. Let's look at his reputation, okay? And okay, Judge Richard Mrazek. Why don't I call him Mazurek? Because there's people here called Mazurek. Mrazek. I'm sorry, Judge Mrazek. Is widely known for presiding over major legal cases. Public opinions on his fairness and impartiality are mixed, with observers debating his approach to courtroom decorum and legal procedure. Many observers praise his commitment to detailed fact-finding and ensuring both sides have a fair chance to present arguments. He allowed cameras in the courtroom during high-profile trials, which supporters view as a victory for public accountability. He has a calm demeanor. Viewers and legal commentators frequently describe him as patient, measured, and highly professional judge. Defense complaints. In several high-profile proceedings, defense attorneys have formally accused Judge Mrazek of bias. And that is based on what that AI just said in the Google is based on this appeal. That's what they're citing as this, okay? Perceived unevenness. Some defense teams, and that's also related to Corey Richards only. Some defense teams have argued that his rulings and remarks seem more favorable to the prosecution, creating the impression of an uneven playing field. And then recusal, this is all related to this. Okay, so none of that is coming from any other case. So let's see what else we have about him. Yeah, I'm not seeing I'm not seeing anything about it. Someone said he's the best judge I've ever seen. Someone said we all know what a great man and judge Mr. Richard Mrazek really is. After watching some other trials, it really does confirm it even more. It does. He's a tough act to follow. I find myself criticizing every judge I watch now. So, I don't think this is going to go anywhere at all. Just got to say. Not seeing it. I think they're just doing it as a favor to her or whatever, to make her think they're doing something. Someone's paying them and they're going to do it. That's it. Oh, hi, Jen. Oh, my goodness. Jen, did you get your pool up and running? I know I'm going to be in the lake tomorrow all day. I told you I was out and about today. Tomorrow's the lake day. And I'll have to watch those. I put them on my list. What? What do you have to watch? Wait, hold on. Hold on. What are you watching? What are you watching? Is it video or audio? Okay, I'm trying to see what you're watching. Oh, Chris Watts? Hold on. Wait a second. I'm losing it here. Colleen, if you want to watch Chris Watts, I have all of it here, and it's factual. I covered the Chris Watts case extensively, and Shanann's mother is one of my best friends, so, and I know the family personally. Which video? What do you want? Which videos do you want? Let me know, because I have them all. Because recently there's been some people doing slandering again. Yeah, a couple of channels. There used to be a lot of pro Chris Watts channels in that class. No, because I think he was talking about marriage in general, what he thought he knew. Because at that time, I don't even think, let me go back and remember when that was. I don't think they even had any kids, because he said something like, oh, you should bring kids into a relationship if the relationship is going south. Yeah. And that's when he was big Chris. Yeah, that was for some kind of a class he was taking. I have that. I have that on my channel. I have everything to do with that case on this channel. There's supposedly him. Yes, I have that. You want me to give you the link to it? I have all of that. Yeah, I'm the gold standard. I'm the fact keeper. I'd like to think of myself as the fact keeper, because there's a lot of people that deal with conspiracy. And there's a lot of people that love Chris Watts. It's scary. It is so scary. Yeah, I have a lot of Chris Watts playlists. You can see, like, I have every interrogation. I have every interview with everybody that was interviewed. Everything. His first confession, second confession, third confession. Yes, I have multiple Watts playlists. Yes. Do you... Colleen, do you... Okay, let me see. I'll show you. Let's see, dear. playlist. Okay, so let's see. Got quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least 5 playlists. I don't even want to tell you how many videos, Colleen. I have Chris Watts case analysis. There's 73 videos in that playlist. I have Christopher and Shanann Watts case. There's 279 videos in that. I have Chris Watts police body cam videos. There's 20 videos in there. I have Chris Watts case in interviews and interrogations, 31 videos in there. And I have Chris Watts case interviews, discovery videos, and there's 58 videos in there. So let's see. Let me go over here. Get shareable link. This is some of the interviews and discovery videos here. Yeah, I have everything. I even have Nicole Kessinger's video that was released afterwards. The one like way back. Catherine Bell. What happened? I think. I don't know. So people believe that. No, the ransom notes were not all fake according to the FBI. None of them have been completely verified. But there are a few that they say are more legitimate than they're not legitimate. That's as much as they're saying. And the one today that I was talking about, that was the guy that was Derrick Callella. He was out in California and he was arrested early on. They knew that he contacted the family with that fake stuff. Okay, so did you get that one link, Colleen? And there, if you grab them and go to them, and I think that once you can get there back there again. You know what I mean? Let me see. So that was that one. Let me give you this one. The right there. Colleen, and here's police body cam. Here you got 3 I'm putting in. This is the third one. You'd also be able to come back in the chat and get the links. Let me see here. Yeah, I somebody came into my comments the other day, told me that some people were disparaging the victims again. Ridiculous. Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3, right? Okay, and then this is, oopsie, what did I just do? Here's the other one. And let me give you one more. Remember the cereal Tricks? Is that still around anymore, or is it not? I don't know why I just said, sorry, kids, Tricks are, sorry, rabbit, Tricks are for kids. I always felt so bad for that rabbit. And didn't they eventually let him have the cereal because it was kind of like the snuffleupagus thing, that kids were really getting a lot of anxiety that the rabbit could never have the cereal, and that the snuffleupagus was never seen, so that Big Bird was never believed, and then they allowed people to see snuffleupagus. It used to drive me crazy as a kid. I hated it. And it did make you anxious. Like, hurry, Big Bird, don't let, hurry. Oh gosh, he's not going to be there. Yeah, it was terrible. And I always felt bad for the rabbit. Why can't the rabbit have, I thought the kids were so mean. Like, you guys are mean. Well, let the rabbit have some cereal. 2, but I want, yeah, you're going to rewatch everything. Here's the 5th one here. That should keep you busy for a little bit. Yes, right, Colleen. Not Kicks, Tricks. Remember, Tricks was the fruity one. Kicks is the one that's all like vanilla. They're all tan. But Tricks was the fruit flavors. Remember in The Little Rabbit? He always wanted Tricks. And they'd say, sorry, Rabbit. Tricks are for kids. Silly Rabbit. So, no, he doesn't know. Catherine, he has no idea. He was a scammer. Yeah. You see me back in the day. Okay. I wonder, one problem is that he is on drugs, so the judge ordered him to rehab. Yeah. He doesn't know anything. He was scamming. He admitted that he wrote fake notes. They're not real. He doesn't know. I don't, you know. You know what, B-Lady? I believe they were out on some of those people finder stuff things. They have a lot of, your phone number's probably out there. They have a lot of information like that out there. The United States really puts people's information out. Let's put it that way. Right? Well, he could get up, he hasn't been sentenced. September 10th he's sentenced. You got all the links saved. Perfect. And if you're ever looking for anything that's not in there, let me know. I even have Chris Watts flip-flopping into the store. Remember when he, horrible, right after he went on his date with Nicole, he went into that convenience store. Yeah. Horrible, horrible, horrible guy. And people like defend him and wanted him, oh, he's innocent. I freaking heard, I don't know. Like, I'm going to say, I'm not going to get myself in an uproar about something else now, but, oh, I don't have anything to do with Cindy Watts. Cindy Watts is not my friend. Sandra Rusak is my friend. Cindy Watts, sorry. Cindy Watts. I've gone over stuff with Cindy Watts. I went over her book and things she said and things she did. But yeah, Cindy Watts is. No, well, there were. Oh, Shadan's mother? She's very good, very busy lady, but because of the state of YouTube and how disgusting people can be, she had a very nice cooking channel, but it's like the hate. I mean, it's like that's what I'm saying. The laws are changing. They haven't changed fast enough, but that's what has to happen. And it's only going to happen when it's called out and more people stop, because there's a difference between freedom of speech and doing what's been done to that family and to other victims' families. There's stuff going on with the Idaho 4 families right now, because some people think that they can just I don't know. It makes me really. Look what's happening to the Metcalf family. The most disgusting, egregious posts have been posted. You never heard of the Idaho 4 case? The 4 Idaho students that were murdered in the off-campus house? I'm sure you have, B-Lady. I'm sure you have. Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, Ethan Chapin, Zaina Kernoodle. Yeah, I don't know. There's people just think, I don't know, and I just say that the world's, it makes me really scared and sad for humanity. Believe me, Catherine, I believe it and I'm disgusted by it. I'm absolutely disgusted. Yeah, Koberger. Yes. But we try not to mention, you don't want to be. It goes by the name Idaho 4, because they're the victims. But I don't know. There's just a certain population that want to just go to the killer or whatever. He didn't do it. He's innocent. The victims are all lying. Yeah. Try to remember the victim's name and not the killer, right? I mean, yeah. But there was so much there's so much conspiracy around every case. Because people just want to keep creating content for money. But even if there's nothing, they'll just keep going. They'll make it up. And we've seen that over and over and over and over. So, anyway, what else is going on? Ice maker's working again. Jimmy got it working again. It's good. Shanann was so driven, full of love. Yep. Spirit and goodness. Her family was everything to her. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, pawns for innocence fraud. Absolutely, Planet Damnation. No, he did not deserve her. Absolutely not. Kaylee, Maddie, and Zaina, and Ethan, and the so-called surviving witness, Bethany and Dylan. Yeah. It's scary. Scary how people go after. I don't know. It's like every case gets like that. Every case. People are not here to defend themselves. They've got their, their family should just get off of YouTube if they don't want to hear it, June 29th. What happened? They shut down, what is that? For 4 years of repair. Folks are thinking, why our weather is wacky. I don't know. Hi, cute kitty kitty. How are you? How's it going? How's it going, cute kitty kitty? So, I hope that, what else is going on? What are you guys doing for the 4th? Tomorrow's the 3rd of July. You guys have any big plans for the 4th of July? I'll show you the fireworks over the lake, okay? For those of you that are new to the channel, I'll show you the fireworks over the lake live. If I don't show it to you live, I show it on replay, but I usually try to get some of it live. Hi, Quinn the Golden. Who's complaining about the heat? I'm not complaining about the heat. I told you I wanted the heat, right? I told you I wanted the heat. My lake, Quinn. I'm fine with the heat. Ask anybody that knows me. Ask my kids. I'm like, you think it's hot out here? I don't think it's hot out here. And we were out, in Pennsylvania and stuff, but no, when we're here, that's what I live for the summer and to be in the lake. And if it's not hot, like last year, it cooled off so much during August, swimming was gone. It was crazy. Alex's trial is April 5th, and the judge said she is not going to continue it. So she's not going to keep going and go say, okay, May, no, that's it, she said. She said, that's going to be it, guys. That's what she said. Because I didn't have enough pictures of the dog. Okay. And Callie, first of all, her name is not Callie. Okay, so we might as well get that right. So since you don't even have her name right, don't tell me what I thought. Okay? Wow. Ugly, you really don't need that name because everybody can tell you're ugly. I stalked all their friends? Oh, really? Did I stalk all their friends? Okay. Yeah. And I get pissed if it's done to me? Well, yeah. I had people stalking me, and no, I never stalked anybody the way that I've been stalked in real life, ugly. You'll see. Okay. All right, you know what? Let Ugly Ugly needs to be ugly. Just let ugly be ugly. They give them enough room, and they hang themselves. Let ugly show exactly who she is. And you really don't need that name, because everybody knows you're ugly. I mean, I'm not even talking about looks. Your words are ugly. Really. Let's see. It's like 102 degrees today. It's just the humidity. Where are you, Kathleen Bell? I'm in New York State. Yeah, They show us that they really, you have to feel sorry for them, because if they had a full life, if they had a life that was bringing them fulfillment, they certainly wouldn't be doing the things they do. But they have absolutely no self-awareness to understand that, and they're under sock accounts. That's a sock account of someone that's trying to get attention. Hi, Super Chat Cat. Pick me, look at me. I don't get any attention. My life is not good. That's all they're saying to everybody. Yeah, you're in here too. All right, yeah. I don't know. It's you had Cold Stone look on his face after the verdict. Which one are we talking about now? The verdict, Cute Kitty Kitty, are you talking about who? His first name is Blaze. Hi, Murder. How are you? How's it going? How's it going? Hi, Gemma. A sock account. Well, a lot of times you see somebody come in here and they say things, and if you go to their channel, it'll show that the channel was created like that day, the day before, or even not. A lot of these trolls, they open up multiple accounts, and what they do is they come in, so it's someone that's like harasses us under another name, and perhaps it's someone that we've been involved with or that we blocked, so they make another account to come in and harass us. But we keep it all. Let's see, a terrible crime, and I feel for it's just so sad. Conviction of an innocent man. The crime was not done by one person. Who are we talking about, Who are we talking about, Catherine Bell? You guys are losing me a little bit. Alex Murdaugh, yeah, he's getting a new trial. Cute Kitty Kitty. I thought no, he's getting a new trial April 5th. Yep. Yeah, they're just fake accounts that they come in and harass with. That's why, like, they'll have a brand new account, but they'll be talking about issues from 7 years back that they can't, move on from. It is crazy, Gemma, but they have no self-awareness to see it. None. Why would you keep going into somebody that you don't watch, you don't like, but you can't stop watching them? You're in Maryland. Oh, who's in Maryland? Kathleen? You watched TMZ, and Harvey said there are possible issues with the Luigi case trial. No one may want to convict him. He has a large following. He does have a large following. He does. He does. And I'll tell you what, B-Lady. He also has a large following of people that have been screwed over with the healthcare industry. So he does. To them, murder's wrong. Okay, we all know that murder is wrong. He should not have murdered the CEO. But he has a fan base. He does. That look at him as someone who was suffering and being denied health care and just lost it. But there's a lot of people that are supporting, they're saying that this is wrong. There's so much fraud, there's so much this, there's so much that. So yes, he has a very large fan base. He has a huge fan base. You're absolutely right. He does. I'm not going to deny it. It's the truth. Yes, and still absolutely. And yeah. And he's got a lot of people that probably in the same position. Okay? And you're still watching TMZ, Taylor's wedding. Yeah, well, there's all kinds of theories around that, but the rehearsal dinner and all of that. Steer clear of the dump. Taylor Swift, yeah, she's getting married, or she may already be married. People are going to town with they're going to be closing streets and right by Penn Station and Manhattan, and there's crazy Madison Square Garden. And they're talking about what it's done, and there's decoy dresses and all kinds of things. But Taylor Swift, I mean, in 2000, was it 2006 or 2007? She was one of the opening acts we saw for Brad Paisley. She really was. Kelly Pickler was there, Taylor Swift, and she was the opening act. She was, and then Eric Church. Wait, I'm trying to figure it out. I think it was 2007. Because Eric Church was 2006. And then I think 2007 was Kelly Pickler and Taylor Swift. Because we went both the years to see Brad Paisley. And that's okay. That's okay. My daughter likes her too. My daughter went to Austria last year, to Vienna, to see her last year, and remember that was canceled? My daughter went to Vienna to see her. Okay, but yeah, that's really something, right? She told them, I'm going to be living in a great big castle, and all you're ever going to be is mean. And that's how the trolls are. That should be their theme song. All you're ever going to be is mean. Let's see, TMZ and Dateline. I've dismissed. You've dismissed Dateline? You don't like Keith Morrison? But she really is, like a I guess everybody could look at it as just this tremendous success, right? Oh yeah, they're saying a bunch of things, Jen, and some of it is decoy stuff, some of it's real, some of it's not real, nobody knows. Some say she's not even getting married there. There's so many stories circulating. It's crazy. But she does have to be careful, because look what happened to Vienna. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she made a great success of her life, Colleen. On her terms, right? My daughter didn't like her last album, though. I know that. She thought that was really weird. You live in Buffalo Bills. Yeah, she donated a lot of money to, what was it, when North Carolina, when all those people were displaced? She donated a lot of money. Life of a Showgirl was what? What was that, Life of a Showgirl? Oh, in the Territory. What was Life of a Showgirl? Wait a minute. Life of a Showgirl. That sounds so familiar to me. Life of a Showgirl. What? I'm not a 13-year-old girl, so not my thing. But no doubt she's as close to current rock star as there is. Right, Planet Damnation. Oh, is that what it was called? But there was... Wait, but there's also something on... Hold on a minute. There's also something... Life of a Showgirl. Isn't that the name of the YouTube channel that those girls that were sailing around the one girl that was sailing around all by herself, that... Wasn't that also called Life of a Showgirl? What's Carolyn pissed off about tonight, folks? What's your major malfunction tonight? What are you pissed off about tonight, Carolyn? It was, right? Okay, hello, Scooter. Scooter, are those girls finished sailing around? It took me about 5 years to understand what... oh, football? Corey Richens wants a new trial. No, it didn't. That didn't upset me, because she's not going to get it. She's not getting it. It's not happening. Got the denied stamp out. They still are? I don't see them come up in my feed anymore. Are you sure? You're right, Colleen, she does, and that's a great thing. That's a great thing, right? Does a bear go to the bathroom in the woods, Bee Lady? Yes. Yes, I'll be showing it. Oh, they're done. Well, that's what I mean. They're done. That's what I said. I just asked you if they were still... And you go, yes, Carolyn, or what did you say? Something like that. Yeah, sure are. No, they're done. That's what I thought. Because I was going to show it to somebody. I was telling somebody about it. I don't even remember who now. And... yeah, they're done. Did you see the littlest troll doll that I showed you? You didn't say. I tried to show you this baby the other day, but you didn't listen. You did not. You were not here listening. Right? With the little Happy Mail baby that I got with the little crocheted or knit little dress and the little headband. You think the uniforms? What uniforms? The troll dolls? Yeah. I used to collect them too as a kid, but then Scooter started collecting them later on. I don't know where my troll dolls are. I have some of them, right? But I don't know if I have my childhood collection. How many babies do you have now? I have no idea. I have no idea. I've got to try changing some of my big babies and to get them. I've never counted. Never. Yeah, I have big babies. I have big babies. 39-inch babies. 39 inches are my biggest babies. You know all about trolls, yeah. You like horse racing, you like bowling, but only won once. Even a movie about them. They live under bridges. What was I going to say? Something I was going to say. What was it? I forget what I was going to say. Important something. They used to sell them at bingo. Really? Oh, for good luck charms? I've been to bingo, but I never saw the trolls sold there. Hi, Murder. I think it's cute how the rich ladies wear those big hats. At the Kentucky Derby or the horse racing, yeah. Horse racing is fun. What about, they don't still race the greyhounds in Florida, do they? I remember one time my kid's principal rescued one of the greyhounds. Troll dolls, and you love cartoon trolls. Remember Super Bowls? Remember all those little Super Bowls, and they would have things inside, like a little sailboat or sparkles. I had a Super Bowl, the little tiny Super Bowl ones that you get out of the gumball machine. I had a collection of those. And then I remember when I talked about miniatures, the guy had a small Martinson coffee, a little cornflakes box, and something else, a U-Ban coffee, excuse me. It was U-Ban, and I was like over the moon with that because they didn't have a lot of these miniatures, and then I was like, oh my gosh. Your grandmother was a bingo addict back in the day. Well, we used to play it in the summer up here. We looked forward to it as kids. Let's count them right now. Yeah, it's not happening. Go grab me a couple of trolls. Did you see the fair stage that collapsed? No, I did not. State Fair? No. I was out all day. Did it happen today? I don't know. No idea. State Fair? Bingo. 20 cards and the markers. Yeah, and they're serious. Like, you better not be talking or anything. And they're like, quiet, quiet. What are they be for? B4. And then when some of the callers always had like, what was it? 66 was ding-a-ling. Do you guys remember that? B4. And then the caller, and after. What else did they, there were certain ones they had certain, they tried to be little comedians. Remember Better Call Saul when he was calling bingo at the old age home? We used to be in Florida. I used to play bingo as a kid. I would go, but it was for prizes. Like you'd get a scented hairbrush or something like that. But I would play with like all the most. Like I was like most older people were there. Like in our we had a condo in like a resort, so we had that. It was in there. And so we went for many years. But anyway, they would do the bingo and stuff. So we'd go, I'd go from the pool, and they're doing bingo. And I was going in for that. Yeah. So, I don't know. Scooter, where are you? Scooter didn't even say anything about... Scooter just came in and said that and then left. And I tried to show her and she didn't even care. She didn't even care. What is going on? You don't even care, Scooter? What do you love? Pull tabs, cat, bingo? Oh, you did say adorable? I didn't see it. I didn't see it, Scooter. Sorry. I missed it. You missed it? I missed it. Scooter's drunk? Oh no. You're already drinking, Scooter? Scooter. N69. No, the O66, N45, N44, N42. O69, O62. I think. What's the highest number they went up to? B14. Oh, she's not drunk tonight, Colleen. She's saving that for the 4th. Where are you, Scooter? Are you at the cottage or are you in Moselle? Are you at the cottage or at you Moselle? Are Jimmy and the boys watching? Yes, they're watching some of the World Cup. Jimmy more than the boys. Ethan got his first guitar today. I told you guys. I shouldn't say he got his first guitar today. He bought his first guitar today. like I said, he has the Les Paul electric, but he got a really nice acoustic today. It's beautiful. And he bought it with his own money. And I took a picture of him because I'm like, oh boy, this is the first of, right? Guys and their guitars. And I was laughing because there were guys of all ages in that store. And then Luke and I were laughing because there was this older guy and he's still chasing that sound. And he was watching, and we were just laughing because he said, for once, Mom, you're not the one tweaking in the store that we have to get out and say, come on, Mom, we got to go. Now it's Ethan. Yeah, the Les Paul, that was actually, I said it, that was a wonderful Rambler that gifted that. You're watching the World Cup. Go England. Yeah, the United States has moved on too. And then he got a guitar strap that has all the suns on it. The sun for Ray, you know? Reminder of Ray. That's, you know, I think. It looks really nice too. It's a sharp looking strap. But I think it's a reminder of Ray. Hi, Puddin'. How are you? Haven't seen you in a long time. So, what else? Did Scooter answer where she is? I don't think she did. For some reason, I'm not seeing her responses. Yeah, music, right? What happened? You can't get what? Unless you have automatic payments? What can't you get? What are you talking about? What, Kathleen? You're taking care of your senior dog? It's been hard? I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know what Catherine's talking about. You can't get something without. Your late husband won a pair of Tommy Lee's drumsticks. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. You have them mounted with lighting. Cool. That's cool. What kind of dog is it, Pudding? How old is your dog? He has, what does he have? IVVD? Losing his back legs. Sorry to hear that. A Maltipoo, he's 15. Yeah. Sorry to hear that. Prayers, Puddin'. Oh, there comes Scooter. Scooter! Scooter! Where are you? Are you in Moselle? Or are you at the cottage? Scooter won't answer me where she is. Scooter won't answer me. Scooter, where are you? You've got 2 cats? We're home right now for the fireworks on the 4th and then going back to the cottage. Thank you for answering. Thanks for calling her, Matt. Thank you for calling her. Scooter. You have a male Shih Tzu, Bernie, and a female King Cavalier, King Charles Spaniel. Told you she's hammered. She says she's not, but who knows? What does he have to overcome? What does he have to overcome? To overcome. So, what else is going on? Scooter, have they found Nancy Guthrie yet? Who came in here after so long? Dookie. Dookie came in last night and he's like, so they found Nancy Guthrie? No, they have not. I don't know. That is... And then I saw something Nancy Grace was saying, is it a hoax? Yeah, I don't think so, right? This is the only time I can get on the computer without being interrupted while everyone is asleep. Do you have a big family with you, Kathleen? Good news for you. We're usually on this time every night. No, I thought that was Colleen that said the crate. Am I reading the wrong person? Wait, maybe I am. Oh, sorry. I read the wrong person. I'm sorry. I thought Pudding was Colleen's avatar. Sorry. I made a mistake. I thought it was Colleen. I just saw the pink. They both had pink, and I mistook one for the other. Sorry about that. The banks are closed when? Not tomorrow's the 3rd. Tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow. I love you tomorrow. You're always a day away. When I think of a day that's gray and lonely. You know what? This case with those 16 kids who were found in a house is sad. I don't know why people don't report when they see signs. Wait, where was that? In Ohio? It was 16? Are those the ones that were all kept in... No, they can't be the one room. That... Yeah, praying pudding. Yep, just did. Ohio. Let me see. Let me see what happened. And I think of that day, that's great. Ohio. Four adults charged after 16 children found in an Ohio home. Ohio family had 16 kids in third world living conditions, Attorney General says. Ranging in age from 1 to 18. Terrible. Wow, but look at look at the accused pictures though. Have you seen them? Wow, what the heck? Hold on. What happened to them? Get over here. Yeah. Gary Siders Sr., Gary Siders Jr., Elizabeth Siders, and Christina Siders. Look at Christina's eyes. Look how red they are. What is going on? Look at Gary Siders Sr. Okay, I don't want to look at their ages and find out that Gary and Christina are like in their 50s. I really don't, but I will. Look. How old are these people here? That's what I want to know. Gary Siders Sr., Gary Siders Jr., Elizabeth Siders, and Christine Siders are each facing 16 counts of child endangering. The four Siders are each charged with the 16 counts, a count for each child that was rescued. It was a bit of luck that the kids were found, says the Attorney General Wilson. For about a month, authorities had been conducting an investigation, the details of which were not discussed. But the Ohio Attorney General said the parallel investigation culminated with a search warrant for the Siders' home. We didn't know about the kids. The Attorney General said the evidence shows that the four adult Siders were pretty good at hiding these kids. So did this woman, Elizabeth, is she the mother of all 16 children? What the heck? Children were not enrolled in school. Most of them were kept in a 12 by 12 area of the home for the past 4 years. He called that area disgusting, adding that our livestock were kept in better conditions than these children. He said it looked like a third world country inside the home. It's not the type of thing we're used to seeing in America, he said. The Attorney General said if they had arrived 24 hours later, there was a high probability some of the kids would be dead. 7 of the 16 kids were taken to a Columbus hospital. 2 of the 7 had to be flown because of their condition. Oh my gosh. As they investigate, they say they're running into a communication barrier. What does that mean? That they can't speak, that the adults can't communicate? Oh, the children. Some of the children cannot communicate at all, while some can on a limited basis. Oh my goodness. What is all of that about? I have to find the ages of these people, okay? Okay. Gary Siders Sr. is 73. Gary Siders Jr. is 36. Elizabeth Siders is 33. Catherine Siders is 67. This is crazy. Okay, let's see here. Are these all... Where are these children from? All right, let me just see who the mother was. What is her name? Elizabeth Siders. Okay, let's see. During a Wednesday press conference in Vinton County, Ohio, the Attorney General Andy Wilson and Vinton County Sheriff Ryan Kane cautioned that due to various reasons, the investigation into how 16 children were allegedly left abused and victimized could take some time. Paramount is their reasoning was that children themselves are reportedly limited in their ability to communicate, at one point describing them as feral. Oh my gosh. Whether or not any of the children have any educational background is unknown, as well as how 16 children went virtually undetected in a home for approximately 4 years. What the heck? Okay, here's what the ages of the children are, okay? 18, 16, 15, 14, 13, 11, 10, 8, 6, 5, 4-year-old twins, 2-year-old twins, and 1.5-year-old twins. Okay, well, come on. She had... Something's bizarre. Something's freaking bizarre. How did they get all these kids, and how did they get 3 sets of twins? This is insane. No information indicating any of the children involved have been enrolled as students. It has not yet been confirmed who the parents are of all 16 children, but it is an intra-family case. The family of 20 lived in a home with 5 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, 1,336 square feet, with an additional 518 square feet in the basement. The home is part of a trust in the name of the Hamden woman who died in 2025. The house was up to date on its property tax payments, the most recent payment being paid in February in the amount of $960.88. Okay. Gary Siders Jr. and Elizabeth Siders were married at the ages of 18 and 15. The oldest child found in the home was born 2 months later. Oh my gosh. What the heck? Gary Siders Jr. also had a warrant for his arrest stemming from an indecent exposure charge in May. The warrant was filed on Monday. Court records show that Gary Siders Jr. is accused of exposing his private parts twice on May 23rd. Once on May 27th and again on May 29th. Records state all 4 incidents happened at the home and involved people who are not members of his household. The house seemed abandoned. It was a shock because we never saw or heard anything from that house. I've never seen a child in that yard. Deputies arrived at the home and investigators had to wear masks, observing what appeared to be stacks of garbage inside the home. The conditions were so deplorable that agents could not reach certain areas in the house. The case continues to reveal the unimaginable conditions these children were forced to endure. And what investigators encountered was pure evil, and the evidence we've uncovered since only reinforces that assessment. I don't even want to think about if some of the 18 and 16-year-olds are mothers of some of these kids. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Several of the children were reportedly hospitalized for serious injuries, with 2 of them being airlifted to trauma centers in Columbus. Oh, this is horrible. And then Gary Siders' attorney, Dorian Baum, released a statement saying that it's just in the early stages of the investigation and asked the court of public opinion to reserve their judgment. While this case has been quite obviously received intense media attention and the accompanying speculation across the internet that comes with any story of that nature, the reality is that we are just at the beginning stages of this case, and Mr. Siders is entitled to the same presumption of innocence that every person charged in this county should and does enjoy. So while there is little ability to stop all the speculation, conjecture, and uncorroborated guesswork from taking place, I would ask that we all let the process play out. Oh, that sounds horrendous. Oh my gosh. Of course they are, you say. 1.5 and 2-year-old twins. Yeah. How are they having all these twins? Oh my gosh, this is so horrendous. Oh my gosh. No, I don't think so, Scooter. I think it's absolutely horrendous. How did they have all these children? And none of them having those twins needed any kind of cesarean or anything, right? 3 sets of twins? 4, 2, and 1.5-year-old twins? That's crazy. Or none of the twins were born prematurely or anything? That's crazy. And needed medical attention? Let's hope not with the herpes. Yikes. Well, but how old? 18, 16, 15, 13. But do we know boy, girls? How do we know what they are? That's horrendous. Ugh. He's got an attorney, Catherine, yeah. That's horrendous. They all look, I don't know. Let me see something. Let me go to something. Hold on. All right, let's see. Okay, so this was the house. Now, I will say something. The people thought the house was abandoned, right? Hang on, where's the house? Their lawn is mowed, right? Or some degree. I mean, it's not a foot high. Did they just pull all this off of the porch? Because I was going to say the porch is like a clean sweep here, which maybe was so not to draw attention, but then yet what is all of this? These are like milk crates or something. You don't see any toys or swings or anything for the kids. Someone is somewhat mowing the lawn, unless this was done after so that people could walk through. I don't know. Let's see here. Vinton County Prosecutor William Archer said the children are in the process of being placed in protective custody with Ohio Jobs and Family Services. No other families or children in the area are at risk. They have a $300,000 bond. Let's see. Hold on. All right, let's see. Someone said, that's what happens when the court and authorities don't want to open their eyes or want to dismiss things, even when there's evidence in a police report labeled child endangerment. But then you have another authority saying it isn't child endangerment to allow a child to get bit 16 times by another child. The parent is supposed to protect the child, not cause harm or allow harm to be caused. They get away with it by saying the best interest of the child. Well, that's not the best interest of the child. The attorneys and other authority figures should be held accountable for ignoring these types of things. It should be against the law. If a child gets severely hurt and it shows that there was no supervision of the child. What is she talking? Did they say that? Somebody got bit 16 times by another child. Did they say that? I don't think. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Just hold on. Okay, let me see what happened. A brother of one of the women living in the house made a statement. I'm paraphrasing, but he said that his sister was indoctrinated into something at the age of 15 and ran away from home. They haven't seen her much since. He said that all of the children are his sisters, although maybe he wouldn't know for sure. So sad. Someone said age 13. She had her firstborn at 14, and they ran to West Virginia to try and get her emancipated at 15 or 16. Somebody said that was somebody, Elizabeth Sider's brother. Someone said, really, I hadn't seen that. I'm not surprised that she'd been indoctrinated. Probably one of those quiverful fundamentalist cults taken to an extreme. Obviously, women can have 16 children or even more, but dang, what a way to live. Someone said, edit, I just saw a comment that the youngest 6 children are 3 sets of twins. Her brother said she's had 20 or 21 kids. Okay, someone said she has met her husband when she was 13 and he was 16. When he turned 18, he wanted to marry her and tried to get the courts to sign off since she was only 15. The system wouldn't allow it. Yet they still got married when she was 15. Wow. Oh, let's see. Didn't Louise Turpin's sister say something similar about her? She was still a minor when she married David Turpin, who was in his mid-20s. They got into some really weird religious stuff. I wouldn't say it was a statement. He posted on Facebook, and he seems to post on Facebook frequently and erratically. He said, my sister just wrapped her life up due to indoctrination. It is 100% real. 20 kids and younger than me. The math equals immature POS man involved. I met this dude a couple of months ago. Shook my hand like a baby would. Super soft hands. Definitely never worked a day in his life. I should have took him out. Excuse me. I should have took him out that night. I was thinking about it, but my sister, I was happy to see. Been 15 years. You lose touch with your family. Followed another, look what happened. The brother didn't make a statement. Okay, she's saying, let's see. The mother is 33. The oldest child is 18. There were 13 kids in total in the house. There were 16 kids in total. Hold on a minute. The mother's 33. The oldest child is 18. There are 16 kids total. It's absolutely insane. On another, someone said she got pregnant 21 times. When you look at the house, it is pretty isolated, but not isolated enough for no one to notice if they went outside. But it looks like it's possible they never did. The neighbors are saying they had no idea even a single child lived there, let alone 16 of them. Crazy. That makes you wonder how many more children and vulnerable adults are out there in situations like this and no one knows. It's sickening. I also think of people like Elizabeth Smart, J.C. Lee Dugard, Amanda Berry, Gina De Jesus, and Michelle Knight. Somewhere out there, there are missing people being held captive and tortured day in and day out. Makes you sick thinking about how many people are out there that do this. Okay. I think of Jeannie and the Turpin kids. They all deserved better. It makes me so sad to remember that there are ones out there we don't know about because this is the nature of the crime. This was my biggest concern during the COVID lockdowns. I said that all the time too. How many abused children and adults did we lose due to not being able to leave their abusive homes? Exactly. I said the same thing. Let's see here. The lady across the street at Dollar General said they came in there every day and got cooking oil and water and something else. They came right before closing and had some of the kids. The kids would have their hair over their face so they couldn't be seen. She asked if they needed help with anything, but they never put anything to use. But they never put anything to use? What does that mean? The whole story is strange. How do you hide 16 kids for 18 years from the world? Why didn't the family ever step in? Are all those kids hers, or do some belong to the teenage kids? Looks like some seedy stuff was going on in here. Okay, let's see. I have my doubts that none of the children themselves were impregnated. This has troubling vibes. You're probably right. I feel like it's just going to get worse with every update we get. The sheriff seemed legitimately shaken by the whole situation. The local AG said he couldn't get the smell of the house out of his nose. Let me see. There's a full bowl of pet food outside in the house in one of the pictures. Maybe they weren't just feeding it. I imagine the cat, somebody said about a cat. Oh my gosh. They had some kind of pest infestation based on the light fixture photo alone. Those little brown dots covering it are fly poop. The mom gave birth at 15, which means likely she got pregnant at 14. She's 33 now and had her last kid at 31. She was pregnant at 16. No, how could they all be hers if they got 1.5 and 2-year-old twins? Come on, guys. Reports are she's birthed 20 children since she was 13. Apparently, 2 sets of twins passed at birth. 2 sets of twins passed at birth? Where are they getting this from now? There's 2 more sets of twins, or 2 of those sets of twins. Someone said, yes, that's what I read too, and there's a living set of twins, 2 years old. Someone said there are multiple living sets of twins, born 2004, 2024, 2025. Someone said, I hate to even think it, but it's possible the 33-year-old is not the only mother. Wow, and the neighbors have never seen these kids. Someone said, I live in this town for the past 3 years. It's going to sound crazy, but yeah, you don't really see people walking outside and doing anything, or kids playing much. You see the occasional kids or adults walking, but town itself tends to stay indoors. The house is near where there's a train yard, and it's just enough out of view to never notice anything out of the ordinary. Someone said exactly this. I grew up in the area. I had a friend that is neighbors with the house this took place in. They had no idea either. It's crazy to see a story from back home make national news. It sounds like the mother was at least originally a victim, someone said. This is chilling, someone said. I read from actual sources that a store employee testified that all 4 adults would go to the Dollar General every single night at around 9:45 p.m., 15 minutes before the store closed, and buy only 2 things, water and vegetable oil. Someone said, I bet you anything those abusive ghouls were giving each kid just what they thought they needed to stay alive. 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil contains 120 calories. The ones who immediately had to get life flighted upon rescue were probably in organ failure, she's saying. Someone said, what are the actual sources? I don't want this to be true. Someone said, apologies, I should have linked the source. They said that it was WSYX, the local ABC affiliate. Someone said, I heard this too, and the worker at the dollar store said that they offered them hand-me-down clothes, and some kids came in with them. Yes, employee at the Dollar General was so disturbed by this sight and the stench of this family who came in nightly that they gave them clean clothes, deodorant, and other hygiene items. But the ABC reporter went on to note that to the employees, it was evident that they never used any of it. Yeah, and the one worker said, the one worker said the stink couldn't get out of their nose. I get that. I'm sensitive to funky smells. What kind of parents would do this to their children? It's insane. Someone said, I hate to say this, but considering that some of the children were found were in critical condition and had to be airlifted, it's possible that there were other children that had been born and died as a result of neglect. A horrible thought, but luckily, either way, the adults will be locked up for the rest of their lives. Yes, I've read several places that she gave birth to 21 or more children total. All home births, at least 1 set of twins passed away, someone said. Okay, let's see here. Does anyone know? Let me see. These poor children survived in these conditions. I can't help but think there are children that didn't survive that are buried in the backyard. At this early point, I'm not giving any of the adults a pass. Let's see. It sounds almost like the Turpin case out of San Diego. Some of their kids were imprisoned, chained on beds, etc. Someone said, I feel pretty safe in assuming these children were all born at home and never registered with birth certificates or social security numbers. So even if there were stricter homeschooling laws in America, it wouldn't help cases like this where the children don't technically exist. It would have helped in the Turpin case because the oldest did go to school, at least for a little bit. Let's see. As a teacher, I've seen so many families begin homeschooling after being investigated by CPS, sadly. Abusive parents, no teachers are mandated reporters, and small kids talk a lot, often not realizing that what they are experiencing isn't normal. In my opinion, if you've been investigated by CPS, you should not be allowed to homeschool. Let's see. Someone said, I know people don't have much sympathy for the mother right now. And I'm not excusing or defending what happened to these children in any way. But if the reports are accurate that she's been having children since she was 13, that means she was likely pregnant at 12 and had been pregnant every year since. That's an enormous red flag that she may very well be a victim of emotional and physical abuse herself, and in the reports of little education, repeated pregnancies, miscarriages, extreme isolation, and the horrific neglect. It paints a picture of a family where generational abuse has very likely been taking place for a long, very long time. If that's true, then this didn't start with her. It's possible she was abused, neglected, manipulated, or exploited long before she became an adult. Victims can absolutely go on to victimize others. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. Okay, let's see here. I wouldn't be surprised if investigators uncover additional forms of abuse. I have a feeling we're only seeing the beginning of what investigators will uncover with this family. Yeah, this is horrific. Here's the children's birth dates. May 30th, 2008. August 17th, 2009. March 13th, 2011. March 28th, 2012, May 8th, 2013, September 2nd, 2014, May 25th, 2016, October 26th, 2017, October 27th, 2019, September 29th, 2020, February 10th, twins, 2022, January 4th, 2024, twins, and January 21st, 2025, twins. Someone said I spent way too much time reading this out. Elizabeth, the 33-year-old mom, was like 13 when she first got pregnant, and according to her brother, a guy who was not Gary Jr., named in the case. However, she and Gary Jr. lived in the same trailer park, and I guess they started seeing each other, went to her mother while they were both teens, asking to get married. Her mother said no, so they ran away to West Virginia to somehow get emancipation papers signed, and then get legally child married at 15 and 18 respectively. Absolutely outrageous that this is illegal in the U.S. They have bounced around places, mostly in Ohio, ever since, with her seemingly pregnant every year. There were claims that this was due to escape small charges like theft on Gary Jr. Looking at her brothers and mom's socials, the whole family comes across as uneducated, poor white Appalachia stereotypes. At least one brother has been to jail for child endangerment charges himself. Both brothers have partners and kids. A family member on the Sider side, I think the sister of either Christina or Gary, I can't remember, would supposedly call Elizabeth's mom with updates on various births over the years. Elizabeth's family claims to have not seen her in at least 15 years, not knowing the conditions the kids lived in. But one of her brothers also posted that he recently shook hands with Gary Jr., and it was not framed positively. If you street view some of the various addresses they've lived at, they're mostly sad-looking places. They've been in their current home for about 4 years. One article said that the house that they were found in had the property taxes paid up. To date, and surprisingly had sewage and running water that was in Elizabeth's name. Someone said the house was in probate court, but it was just a random commenter without a source, so not sure on that one. The original homeowner is passed. Police originally went to the house because of a public indecency charge on Gary Jr. The kids were a surprise. Okay, in a crime scene photo, you can see cats and filled food bowls on the porch. Looks like the cops pulled out a bunch of trash from the main room, and there's a high chair, diaper box, toy car, and what looks like the legs of a baby jumper visible, so some low effort at normalcy might have been done over the years. I'm going to guess by Elizabeth. On some of the articles, a few people claim to have interacted with the family over the years. When there were less kids, the family has basically been reliant on donations and the food bank. They were not collecting government assistance. Google Earth and some crime scene photos from the day of the arrest show a car. Hold on a minute. A car and a truck parked at the house. There's a lawn tractor also there, right? Now, I don't know whether they just brought that lawn tractor there to cut the grass so that people could get in and out of here because it was overgrown. I don't know because the lawn, I don't know. A lot of people are mentioning cults, but I think they are underestimating just straight up rural American poverty and generational trauma. The local Dollar General employee claims that they would come in at night with some of the kids who would be quiet and dirty with their hair all over their faces. Another girl said she worked with the family before when there were less kids, and Elizabeth was super quiet. Gary Jr. would drive her to pick up baby supply donations and sit in the car while she collected them and acted quiet and awkward to observers. Anyway, just one big old mess all the way down. Some other interesting things. There is a grave of twins with the surname, so it would check out that she lost a set, but also be telling if they did pay for a normal burial given the lack of care to the other kids. Well, how the heck was she having all these twins? Is she taking fertility drugs? Apparently, whoever was managing the trust, the house, they were thought to be an older couple were living there. Might be why the neighbors never saw the kids if they were trying to hide them. Okay. A rumor without a source is saying an 18-year-old is pregnant. I don't know about that. Oh my goodness. These poor children. Let's see. The father of the children is supposedly 36. The mother's 33. They're only 3 years apart. Okay, they just keep repeating the same thing. Let's see. Okay, so someone says that it seems the grandmother, Christine Siders, had some sort of breeding kink or obsession. She has her 5 children. She herself has 5 children. And I found almost all of them on Facebook. It seems that each one of them has at least 4 children. Some have 5. Well, that's not that bad. I mean, there's a lot of people that have that. 5 children. One daughter has 6 kids. Okay, that's still not crazy. And because they all had them at young ages, some of them even have grandchildren. One of them has 4 grandchildren already, and she's in her early 40s. I feel like they were teaching their children to procreate as much as possible. With Elizabeth being 13, it's like she had a blank canvas to breed as much as possible. Really sick and odd stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some religious cult rationale behind it as well. Oh, let's see. Just the mugshots of the mother of the children made me wonder if she's a victim as well. Now I have seen rumors that the family is saying she was taken out of the state by these people at like 15 and had a first child at 13. Sad story all around. Well, if she had a first child at 13, the child would be 20, right? Is the child out of the house? What's going on? I don't know. See if they have anything else here that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be some horrific stuff. DNA is all screwed up. What interrogation? What Kathy? Wait, there's so many Kathys in here. Now there's Kathy Prince. Hi, Kathy Prince. What interrogation, hun? Which interrogation? Kathy Prince, which one? This interrogation is not out yet, I don't think. That would be ridiculous. What is Kathy Prince saying? Kathy Prince, what are you saying? Oh, come on, Kathy Prince, what are you saying? Let's see. It's like something you see on television, like a movie. It's a fiction book. This is just sick, right, Kathleen? I'm sorry. Oh my goodness! Wow, crazy. Hi, Murder. How can this happen in this day and age? Is just sickening, right, Murder? It is. But yeah, if you live like. You could live in the backwoods somewhere, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, you think this is the only one? I doubt that. As horrible as that is to think of, there's probably hundreds of cases like this that we haven't even discovered. You know, it's sickening. It is sickening. It is very sickening. Oh. There must be many more cases like this. Yeah, there has to be. Kids don't even know how to speak. How do you just have these kids and they don't even know how to speak? What's the point of having them? You know what I mean? I don't know. Sickening. From the womb to off the grid. Scary. And I don't know how they're having twins, that many sets of twins. That's crazy. And how are they giving birth to those twins alone? That's crazy. I don't know. We definitely need word cookies tonight to get our head out of that. Daily puzzle. Yeah, we do this, for those of you that are new, we do this to get our head out of that crazy stuff we see, because you have to. It's just too ridiculous. It's too hard. I don't mean ridiculous funny. I mean just ridiculous, unimaginable. Oh, did, yes, murder. That was easy murder, right? I think we're close to an advancement, aren't we? Let's see. Oh yeah, we're very close to an advancement. Okay, let's see. Hi, Pencilla. How are you? So what did they expect those kids to no longer have? I don't know what they expect. This horrible situation. It's gonna be so much worse than I think we can even imagine. I really do. I think it's gonna be worse than we can even imagine. Iron murder, yeah. Or ruin. Okay, what do you got there? Next story, please. What story? I don't have any more stories, Kathy. Kathy Prince, next story? What next story? We're playing a word game now, Kathy. Rough? Oh yeah, rough. Oh, and roughing, right? Okay, what is this now? Oh, gong. Okay. What else? What did Kathleen get? We need some help. What is that? Let me see. Urging? Very good. Did we do hour? Yeah, we did. Iron. So what was oh yeah, burner. No, that's not it. Oh boy. What is it, murder? Come on. We're playing the word game. We're playing the word game, Kathleen. It's time. It's almost time for us to say goodnight. You're still going? You're not going to be going to bed soon? How long do you stay up? Guys, Kathleen wants to talk to somebody. Come on. Oh, I know what it is. I got it. I got it, murder. I did it. We all did that. Aren't you proud of me? Murder. That I got that? Hi, Pencilla. More? Very good. Your posts weren't showing? Oh no. Oh no, murder. Oh my. I can see you, murder. Owl, murder says. Very good, murder. Oh, real? Who got real? Murder? Murder got real. Okay, let's see here. Pencilla, what are you saying? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. What is going on? Master size, what happened? What about the girl who ran in her car? Oh, yeah. Mackenzie Shrilla? I have lots of stuff on Mackenzie Shrilla, Kathleen. You can sit and listen to all of her jail calls. I have all the jail calls. I read you the 30,000 pages of text messages. If you're looking to put something on when you're cleaning, I'm your girl. Or if you're just going to go lay down or sit outside or whatever you want to do, I'm your girl. Oh, whoa. What do you got there? Yeah, I tried that. Oh, eel. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, roll. It's got to be roll. That one. What did you get? What do you have? Roe? R-O-E? We don't have that yet, huh? I think we did. No? Oh, no. What could this one be? Doodly 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 doo. You put that ages ago. Sorry. Sorry. Hi, Matt. That is a lot of twins, right? Yeah, that's like ridiculous amount of twins. Sorry, murder. You like text? Okay, well, I read all the text, Kathleen. You'll love it. It's Mew murder, Mew. Okay, we're gonna get our advancement after this one. Oh, maybe then we'll do. I didn't realize. I thought we were gonna get an advancement. Maybe we'll make it tomorrow because it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. But thank you to all the new people that found us. We love you guys. Keep it coming back. Okay, what is that thing? Keep coming back. What is that AA or something? Keep coming back because it works. Right? Something like that. I don't know. Keep coming back because we love you. Let's do our own thing. Okay. Keep coming back because you're welcome here. Keep coming back because we like you. Keep coming back. Kathleen, come back. Make sure you're subscribed. Okay? Make sure you're subscribed. And come on back now because you want to come where somebody knows your name and talks to you? You're proud of you, and I'm going to sleep. Okay, I'm proud of you too, Kathleen. Proud of you too, Pencella. Proud of you, Matt, Jen, Murder. Proud of all of you. I'm very proud of all of you. Okay? And I'm very grateful for you all. So stay well, and we'll see each other again real soon, tomorrow. Which will actually be today. But everybody stay well, okay? Get some rest if you're going to bed. If you're not going to bed, be productive or not, whatever suits you. Love you guys. Stay well, and we'll see you tomorrow, okay? Prayers for all that need them, and there's many that need them. We all need them, so keep them coming. All right, everybody. Good night now.